Desert ruins? Is Sonic running around on licorice? Are those donuts in the background? What the hell is this place? This isn't a desert at all! Aloha everybody, welcome to part 6 of Sonic Lost World. We're back on the Wii U version, going through Desert Ruins Act 3, which is nothing like a desert, but it does have lots of tasty food in the background. Donuts and pancakes and cupcakes, and oh my god, I just want to eat all of it right now. I went into this commentary very hungry. This was a bad decision. This was a very, very bad decision. But this level's entirely 2D. There's a lot of plain and obvious red rings here that you would be wise to pick up. Once again, you only need 5 from a zone, not an act, in order to get 1 circus tent, and you only really need 1 circus tent in order to get 5,000 flickies easily. So I would recommend taking advantage of this stage and collecting all the red rings that you see. This and Act 4 are both 2D, and they're both really easy to get red rings in, so do it! Do it, you won't! But, God. So this isn't a desert, and Act 2 wasn't a desert. It was in Honeycomb Highway, which was in the trees and stuff. And I don't mind that not every single level was a desert, you know? I like it that there's a whole bunch of variety in Sonic Lost World, that just because you're in the ice level, oh, now there's a casino level, because why not? Yes, there is a casino level in the ice level coming up, and I don't have a problem with that. You know, I like it when Sonic tries to change things up a bit, to add some flavor and to make every level feel neat and special, because if every level felt like Windy Hill, it'd probably get a little bit old after a while. And hey, I like this level. Some good 2D action with a whole bunch of Oreos to walk around on. Or sorry, no, they're not Oreos. There's no way that they lent their license to this Sonic game. They're nondescript cookies. They're nondescript cookies, not Oreos. Definitely not Oreos. I love little things like this. When the camera angle was changing and Sonic was coming up to this, you could briefly see that there was a cannon where that bottomless pit is. So I knew instinctively to jump into that pit, and then I would get a whole bunch of rings for doing so. Which again, before all the patches, ring collection was not really... There really was no point to it other than score. You didn't get extra lives from collecting 100 of them. But they patched that in, and it's in the PC version as well, so that's a good chance to get some extra lives by jumping into those turrets. With the chocolate balls that are firing out of those cannons, all you have to do is hold the jump button and you'll bounce along them. If you do a double jump, Sonic uncurls out of his ball form, and then he can't bounce on badniks or enemies or objects alike. So it's a wise decision to just jump once, hold the jump button down, and Sonic will just bounce around with all that chocolate, and it's pretty damn special. But anyway, we gotta go back to the... What the hell was that? I really don't like the 3DS's freaking homing attack. I really don't like it. It remembers that I hit the spring and I locked onto that spring, and it just decided to go back to that spring because, fuck it. It can really screw you up later down the road. But we are back in the 3DS version of Sonic Lost World. This part's actually kind of confusing at first because you have to get the Quake Wisp, which I've just picked up now. It is an entirely new wisp. And then you use these teleporters to go back to where you were. So when I hit this, I'm back where the level began. Now the Quake Wisp destroys gray blocks that are in my way, but it's also controlled with the gyro sensor. It's not a big deal here. I'm only really going to use it to go forward, so I'm not really moving the 3DS. I get here, the power wears off, whatever. But the Quake Wisp, you have to move it with the gyros, so like if you want to turn left, you have to tilt the 3DS left. If you want to turn right, you have to tilt the 3DS right. Very important to remember, because if you don't remember that, when you find another Quake Wisp in a future level, you go flying off a hill and into a bottomless pit, because of course you do. But the Quake Wisp, when you jump and then push the Y button, it does a ground pound, which can generally kill most enemies in one hit. Except for these turtle enemies we'll be seeing in Silent Forest, because, of course, they have to be beefy with health. But these sandworms, you ground pound once around them with the Quake Wisp, they will die instantly. No need to use your charge-up homing attack at all. In hindsight, this level's actually pretty quickly. I feel like most people are going to be stuck on the maze-like pathway at the beginning because they're going to be zipped around to all these teleporters over and over again if they go on the wrong pathway and stuff. But when you know exactly where to go for that beginning part, there's not really much game left in this particular stage. I have to kill all the fire orbinauts, all the buzz bombers, so that this capsule will open so I can hit this teleporter, and there's my exit. That's all there is for 3DS Desert Ruins 3. Not too bad. Only bad for your first playthrough if you don't know to charge up for the sandworms and stuff. But that's the good levels for the 3DS version, folks. Tropical Coast onwards, this game's going to turn into a big, big stinking pile of garbage. So, either way, let's take on the final level of Desert Ruins for the Wii U version.
One word of helpful advice: diet and exercise.
That's 3 words!
Hey! Whoa!
I think I'll have you for dessert!
Don't talk with your mouth full.
Yeah, right! Hey! I forgot the mustard! Be right back!
Hey, where do you think you're going?
I really like that cutscene, if only because Sonic Team has the confidence to let their hero get hit in the head with a giant sandwich. I know, it's dumb. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're in the final level of Desert Ruins for the Wii U, and it is, once again, another 2D level where the red rings are really obvious, so you should collect them along the way. And it's also an auto-scroller, which means that I can only go a certain speed. If I try to reach the edge of the screen, I'm not going to go anywhere. So I sort of have to take my time and just sort of go with the flow. Wait for the level to catch up, you know? Obviously, you want to get some flickies, so kill every badnik you see, open every capsule, don't fall into sand traps, don't let this tornado catch you. Oh, that's a real struggle. I hope the tornado doesn't catch up to me. Oh god, it's so fast. This is a pretty basic, pretty easy level, but speaking of fast, speaking of 2D, I guess I'm going to talk about the 2D control now. And I know a lot of people hate Sonic Lost World because this is a much slower-paced Sonic game. And for some people, Sonic has to be fast. It has to be the fastest thing, the fastest thing alive. It's Sonic the Hedgehog. I actually really like how fast this particular game is in the 2D sections for a variety of reasons. For one thing, the camera is pulled back enough so that you're never surprised by bullshit. You know, you don't run into ball spikes, you don't run into enemies you couldn't see coming, because the camera is always pulled back and you're always going to see it before it ever happens, and Sonic doesn't move so fast on screen that you're constantly running into stuff you don't want to run into. I kind of appreciate that, even if it doesn't really fit the feel of Sonic all that much. The 2D control, when it comes to momentum, I really, really like. I like the fact that the double jump is better than it was in Sonic Colors. In Sonic Colors, when you tried a double jump and didn't hold the control stick in any certain direction, Sonic would immediately go straight up into the air, and it would really screw up my platforming. Here, if you're not holding a directional button, if you're not holding a left or right, and you try to perform a double jump, Sonic will just keep with the momentum, and he'll keep going. And I like the fact that so many of these jumps are carefully timed, double jumps, carefully timed momentum run-ups, where, if you try and move slowly and jump, yeah, you're going to be a little bit stiff and you're not going to go anywhere. So you want to get some running speed, you want to jump, make sure know when to double jump and when to pull back on the control stick, and I actually really like how the control is in Sonic Lost World. And I know for a lot of people that's a big red flag. The minute you heard that, you're like, oh god, Clement, you're so wrong. You're so absolutely wrong. Tons of people disagree with me on this, so take what I'm saying with a grain of salt if you've never played Sonic Lost World before. But personally, I really like the 2D control of this game. I think it's actually really fun.
Looks like dinner is served!
Anywho, here's Zomom. He does 3 jumps. The third one is a ground pound, which I want to jump over like it's Guts Man. And when he stops, you do a charge-up homing attack to defeat him and chase after him with the Drill Wisp. Now, this isn't going to happen to you because I grabbed the Wisp really quickly, and most people are going to wait 2 or 3 seconds. But if you actually catch up to Zomom here, you don't hurt him, he'll actually bounce you, and you might bounce out of the dirt and fall into the bottomless pit, so that's never good. For the final part, he's spinning around like a tornado, you jump over him, when he stops, you do a charge-up homing attack, and that's all she wrote, folks.
We gotta go! It's dinner time!
You say that every time, Zomom. Every time is dinner time, really? Really, buddy? Either way, that was the Wii U final level. Now we're going to take on Zomom in the 3DS version.
Wow, you're barely a snack!
Okay, so Zomom's on his Lego Cube thing from Act 2 of the Wii U version, and the only way to damage it is to attack the jewel on the back of its head. Now, I'm taking little quick homing attacks because there's not really enough time to do a charge-up homing attack. It's constantly moving, so I can't stand in place and follow it and make it build up that way. But every now and then it stops to shoot a whole bunch of fireballs that will home in on you, and after doing so, it stands in place for a little bit to give you one charge-up homing attack that you can perform and drain his health really, really quickly. The other alternative, a lot of the green blocks surrounding this globe can be shattered, and some of those blocks have an asteroid wisp in them. And if you get the asteroid wisp, you can drain the Lego face super quickly and destroy it really quickly. And then all that's left is Zomom, and then you just homing attack him once, and that's it for Zomom. But, yeah, not that bad. Just keep following, hitting the jewel every second you get.
We gotta go! It's dinner time!
You just said that! The problems of playing two versions at the exact same time. Either way, super easy boss fight, not that complicated, and enjoy this cutscene where shit is about to hit the fan with Dr. Eggman.
I hone your abilities. I equip you with the most powerful mechs I can create. I even give you a giant sandwich. You still disappoint me. I'm a compassionate man.
That shell looks like trouble.
Hold on a second. Sonic! I think that thing in Eggman's hand
Gone! Eggman's shell is gone.
That was a mistake.
Whatever. When is it a mistake to take your toys away?
When it's the only thing keeping 6 angry Zeti from controlling my mechs, you moronic hedgehog!
Strike, brothers! Make the fool pay for our abuse and enslavement!
Shiver me timbers!
I hate to run away from a fight, Tails, but I don't want to see you get fried.
Not getting fried would be nice.
Orbot! Killbot! We are leaving!
Oh man, I should have listened to you, Tails.
Oh, you think?
Oh god, Eggman's lost control of the Deadly Six! I like that scene after he, tortures them with the conch. He then goes, I'm a compassionate man. I thought that was a pretty intense scene, because I like the fact that, Zaz grabs onto his Eggmobile and he spins around, then Zomom knocks him over and shit. It's like, Jesus, they're out for blood. Good stuff. But, yeah, folks, I have 2,158 flickies, but when I go after the 4 circus tents in Desert Ruins, that is going to change dramatically. So come back for part 7 as I look at these tents and I go on to the next zone, Tropical Coast.